Good morning, friends on YouTube and Zoom. We'll begin our daily devotional in just a few moments. Good morning, friends on Facebook. We'll begin our devotional in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to our daily devotional from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. Very glad to have you here this morning with us as we begin Holy Week. And this week we are going to read and study the resurrection passage from Mark 16, verses 1 through 8. And so I'll be reading this morning from Mark 16, and I'll offer just a couple of reflections and close us with a prayer. This is Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 8. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there is the place they laid him. But go tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you." So they went out and fled from the tomb, for terror and amazement had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. Well, this passage marks the end of the Gospel of Mark for most of our, or all of our earliest manuscripts to the Gospels. Some of the older manuscripts have the shorter ending of Mark and then a longer ending, which is verses 9 through 20. Of course, all of that is understandable given that this verse 8 ends with the angel figure saying that Jesus would see them, or that they would see Jesus and meet them in Galilee. In this passage, though, there is a striking emphasis on the fact that Jesus is not present. And one of the things I want us to reflect on this week, as we think of Christ's death and resurrection and ascension, I want us to reflect on what it means when the angel says he is not here. That is, he is not present. Very, very important, I think, because of course there is a sense in which God is present everywhere. What does it mean here? And what does it mean for us that Jesus is not present, that he ascended to be with God, and that he is not present, at least not in the form that those women were accustomed to, and not in the form that you and I are currently in. So I would like for us to reflect on the resurrection story and what it means for us this week. Very powerful and central story, and one that can certainly trip up a lot of people. So let's be in a prayerful spirit as we reflect on this passage this week. And I want to close us with this prayer from W.E. Orchard. Oh God, there are many things in our life we cannot understand, but there are a few we can, and we thank thee for these. We cannot understand why we should, like silly sheep, stray so often from the paths of peace, why the bent of our nature should be towards folly, why we should continuously incline towards evil. But we are grateful at least that we do know when our feet have missed the track. We never mistake the lonely night upon the mountains or the wandering in the wilderness for the shelter and plenty of the fold. We cannot understand why we can never learn from the experience of others when it witnesses consistently that the way of transgressors is hard, that the stolen fruit crumbles to ashes on the lips, that as we sow, we reap. But at least we are thankful that we're never satisfied with sin, that forbidden fruit never quenches thirst or satiates hunger, but only sets our teeth on edge, that no bread of life can be made from the wild oats we have sown. We are thankful that not all the glitter and tinsel of the world can finally deceive us. We cannot understand why we must try every physician before we try the one who alone can heal us. We are so pitifully taken in by any impostor. At whose door have we not waited? But we are thankful that we never think we have found heart's ease when we have not, that we do not imagine we are growing better when disease is still wasting our frames. We are glad we never rest until we come at last to the great physician. What we cannot understand is why the great physician should receive us and take us in and spend himself upon our healing. But that we do not ask to understand. It is the wondrous love to which we trust, the mercy in which is all our hope. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me this morning from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn, and I hope you have a great day and a great Holy Week. Goodbye.